Okay, hello and welcome to our second killer episode of Dead by Daylight Character Spotlight. I'm here with MrsSuperHands. Say hello, MrsSuperHands.
Hello, MrsSuperHands.
Very good. And today we're going to be talking about the Wraith. The Wraith is an intermediate killer. He was one of the original 3 killers first released when the game came out. His power is the Wailing Bell, and his attributes are that he moves 4.6 meters per second, which is fairly fast. He's got a 32 meter terror radius, and he's tall, so he's easy to discern. The Wraith's backstory. Philip Ajomo came to this country without anything other than hope for a new beginning. He was happy as he got offered a job at Auto Haven Wreckers, a small scrapyard where bribed cops turned a blind eye on the somewhat shady business that took place. Ajomo didn't care. He had seen criminal activity up close in his homeland, and as long as he didn't get involved, he let things be. He just fixed cars and handled the crusher. Something he did really well. A car went in, a small metallic cube came out. It was not until one gloomy day that he, just by accident, saw some blood coming from one of the uncrushed cars. As he opened the trunk, he found a young man, gagged with tied hands and panic-filled eyes. Ajomo freed the man, who managed to run 10 feet before Ajomo's boss stopped him and slit his throat. As Ajomo demanded answers, he was explained that he'd been nothing more than a simple executioner, as more or less every car had a soul in them. This was a service the scrapyard provided to certain clients. Ajomo snapped and went ballistic. He threw his boss in the crusher and let it slowly compress. As the head stuck out, Ajomo grabbed it and pulled head and spine out of the body. Then he left and was never seen again. It's interesting, some of the Wraith's base weapons, they've got a skull and spine as part of the weapon motif on his axe, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Gross.
I mean, if I was in that position, I would feel terrible, but I wouldn't feel guilty because I didn't know. I would be very upset and sad and want to make it right. And I think ripping someone's head and spine out for making you murder loads of people is kind of a proportionate response, to be honest.
So gross.
So, the Wraith's special perks then. Firstly, we have Predator. Your acute tracking ability allows you to hone in on disturbances left by running survivors. Scratch marks left by survivors will spawn slightly closer together. This is distinctly meh, in my opinion. It's one of those perks where if you're on a scratch mark trail and you're not an inexperienced killer, you can usually work out where the survivor's gone. I've tried with Predator, I've tried without, and it makes no real difference. In fact, Predator can actually hinder you, in my opinion, because that narrow channel can be more difficult to spot from a distance. I like a wide channel for the scratch marks, particularly if survivors run next to vertical objects, because quite often scratch marks up a wall will draw your eye, even if you just see them out the corner of your eye, and can get you on the trail of a survivor. So I never use Predator, and I really don't think it's that great.
Yeah, as someone who keeps accidentally running next to walls, I know I've definitely been caught out a few times by killers because there are scratch marks on the wall. So while this, written down, it makes sense because you think it's going to be a bit clearer, but actually it's only clear if you're in that chase, I suppose. You're in that chase and your survivor isn't injured. Because obviously if they're injured, unless they've got iron will, you can follow the sound of their cries as well.
Yeah.
Meh.
Yeah, it's decidedly meh perk. The Wraith's second teachable perk is Bloodhound. Like a hunting scent hound, you smell traces of blood at a great distance. Fresh blood marks are considerably more discernible than normal and can be tracked for 2 seconds longer than normal. This is an interesting perk. Particularly for newer killers, it's very strong, because it can help you notice those blood splats, get on the trail of a survivor, even if, like you just mentioned, the survivor's using iron will, etc. It can really help you stay on the trail, especially if you couple it with something like Sloppy Butcher to increase their bleeding frequency.
Yeah.
It's iridescent. The blood is so bright and easy to see. That being said, As you get into the higher skill levels and more experienced killers, again it becomes a lot less useful.
Yeah, there's not really much for me to say about this one. I imagine that as someone who has sometimes hidden in a locker when I've been injured, and you're standing in the locker going, go away blood, go away blood, go away blood, go away blood, that kind of, it affects you in that way. But yeah, it's like you say, it's if you're new and you're not great at tracking yet, fair enough, but you've got scratch marks to follow anyway, and this very much relies on your survivor that you're chasing being injured. If they're not injured, you're not using a perk. So if you can get those hits, great. If you're quite new, you're struggling to find them, or you're struggling to hit the survivors, then this is going to be useless.
Yeah, you have to get that first hit off to make it active, that's true. The Wraith's third and final signature perk is Shadowborn. You have a keen vision in the darkness of the night. Your field of view is 9 degrees wider than normal. This does not stack with other field of view increases. It's kind of meh. Like, yes, having a wider field of view is great for being able to just catch those glimpses of survivors out the corner of your eye, but if you're a good killer player, you're on a swivel all the time anyway, and 9 degrees, like, even at higher levels, it's not much. Plus, it can give you a bit of fisheye kind of vertigo when you're getting used to it as well. It's quite a strange perk to use. Honestly, wider field of view is great, but I think you can use that perk slot for something that's going to have a bigger impact on your power level as a killer.
Fair enough. I think considering you're playing first person, unlike the survivors who are playing third person, I can see why this might be quite sought after, again, at the beginning when you're first starting out, being able to see a bit more, because we have third person the shit out of some of these killers, haven't we, with hiding around corners or just like around behind lockers and stuff. So if that field of view makes just that little bit of difference, it can make the difference between seeing someone and not. Yeah. But like you say, 9 degrees isn't a lot. I know that's only level 1, but I don't think level 3 is particularly high either, and it's going to distort the rest of the view in a way, isn't it? So it's kind of, I can imagine you trying to use this and then trying to with another killer, and then it just sort of messing with your eyes a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, any advantage with being able to see as a first-person character when you're fighting third-person characters is beneficial, but I think there's a lot stronger perks you can use that slot for.
Yeah.
Overall, fairly underwhelming kit for the Wraith, but his power is quite interesting. The Wraith's power is the Wailing Bell. A heavy cast iron bell imbued with ancient powers allows its user to enter and walk the spirit world when rung. So you press and hold the power button to cloak, and you press and hold the power button again while cloaked to uncloak, granting a 1-second burst of speed upon reappearing. And you can hear the Wailing Bell ringing up to a distance of 24 meters away. While cloaked, the Wraith is granted increased movement speed and near total invisibility, and the undetectable status effect. The Wraith may not attack while cloaked, but can interact with environmental objects. Exposure to bright light forces the Wraith to automatically uncloak. That means you can be burned out of cloak by a survivor shining a flashlight at you. And it's important to note that while you can interact with environmental objects, such as breaking pallets and smashing generators, you partially uncloak while you do that, which kind of makes you shimmer, and it makes the survivors able to see you. You are faster, and it's important to note that it is near total invisibility. The Wraith kind of appears like a heat haze when he's invisible, but it still can be quite useful for sneaking up on survivors, particularly in the fog.
Particularly at the beginning of a game. Once you know it's a Wraith, you're looking out for that ripple. But at the beginning, I can't say how much my heart just like jumps out of my chest when you just hear that ding ding. Yeah. Okay, it's coming for me.
The thing is, as well, the animation to re-emerge from cloak gets to about halfway, and then the bell rings. So you start to shimmer, and then the bell rings when you're nearly out. plus you get that speed burst. So if the survivor's not looking and doesn't see you start the animation, then you're probably going to get a hit in, because you're going to emerge very quickly and then get that little speed burst to probably get a hit in. So you have to keep your head on a swivel with this guy. Okay, so here we are ready to try and take on the Adept Wraith challenge. We have Predator 2, so scratch marks will spawn moderately closer together. We have Bloodhound level 1, which lets us track blood for 2 seconds longer than normal, and we have Shadowborn, which gives us a 12 degree wider than normal field of vision because it's level 2. We don't have the 4th perk because we're doing Adept, so let's have a look at add-ons for our power.
There's some really good add-ons for the Wraith's power, particularly the ones that affect the bell, and the ones that make the bell sound really far away when he's not far away. I've definitely been pulled off of a generator because I didn't realise and just assumed he was far away. So, oh, I know it's the Wraith now, woohoo! And then I'm grabbed. Ah!
Yeah, there's some really interesting ones that can make the bell sound like it's right behind every survivor when it's being rung.
Yeah, that's horrible.
The coxcombed clapper, which is one of the ultra rare add-ons for the Wraith, just removes all the sound from the bell at all. There's even one of the ultra rare ones, this all-seeing spirit. While you're invisible, you can see how progressed generators are, which shows you which one to target, which is quite cool.
That is cool.
Okay, so what I'm going to do here with my add-ons is try and go for a build that will let me get the jump on survivors and get that first hit of the chase in easily. So I'm going to take in a bone clapper, which means they won't be able to discern the bell's distance or direction. And then I'm going to take in some ghost soot, which suppresses my terror radius for 6 seconds after uncloaking. So they won't know where I am, and then I won't have a terror radius even if I'm right next to them. So I should be able to hopefully get a grab or two, maybe an easy hit, if they're not paying attention. In terms of offerings, let's just take some points. Hunting category. Cool, so we've got some victims. A couple of toolboxes, nothing major. We are down at rank 20 because I haven't played the killer in quite a while, so if there's gonna be a time for me to do this achievement, hopefully it's gonna be now.
Haddonfield.
And some luck for the survivors and some points for me.
I heart points.
Okay, here we are at Haddonfield. So, we start cloaked, which is very helpful. Interesting side note, actually. Unmodified, survivors will hear the wailing bell ring within 24 meters when I'm decloaking. When I do cloak, they'll hear me successfully cloak when they're within 40 meters.
Very interesting that when you're cloaked, obviously the edges of your vision is affected, so actually having that having Shadowborn almost levels it out a little bit for if you were playing a different killer.
Maybe. Did I just get duped? How dare you? Yeah.
The Juker got juked.
Indeed.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Number one tip for killers, particularly new killers, look behind you. As you're running around, just take a look behind you every now and again. it will get you so many kills. Because survivors think you're just going to run in the same direction without changing. Oh look, scratch marks. Hiya. Congratulations, Fang. By sandbagging, you have won the Time to Die lottery. Don't worry, you can run away, Jake. I'm not going after you. Not your fault you got sandbagged by a selfish individual. Gotcha. Look how bright that blood is.
I'm so bright. I thought he was going for a grave sabotage then.
What was that, sir?
I thought he was going for sabotage.
Yeah, me too. You didn't have that
Whoops!
one. And that is what happens when you don't look at the killer while you're in a chase with them.
I'm really bad for doing that. I'm really bad for running and not looking behind me. This game is all blood and scritches and scritches and blood.
Blood. You see, I was going in this general direction anyway, but that really showed me where to go. Hello. I mean,
Your size was helpful there.
yeah, as a killer, you can quite easily body block people in doorways, etc. That's why I've taken a hook for that. It's just silly positioning.
Yeah, sometimes
Hello.
I've used those verandas to heal before, but I don't tend to stay there long. Well, no, I've used them to hide, sorry, but I wouldn't use them to heal because it's just too long. Hi, Steve. Hey, you really?
Don't do it. Oh, if you sandbag, you get to die next. Don't unhook people right in front of the killer. Take the killer away from your friends. It's not a difficult concept, guys.
Yeah, we talk a lot about people face camping and
No!
but if you're going to do something like that, like Steve just did, then the killer's obviously not going to leave. They're trying to run in and then escape, but you know, that's just not going to happen. The killer is faster than you.
I try and give people the opportunity to play the game. I want everyone to get a decent game, but at the same time, if you're going to be an idiot, I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. Hello, blood. Look at these nice tight together scratches and blood puddles. Hello.
I must say the scratches are very together, aren't they?
Oh, it's Bill.
Well, food, so
I'll just give him a bonk. He's been a bit slapped this game.
yeah, but you've got to think about why he's been slapped.
Hello! You've just been... Another Bill's been saved. So.
Let's get some hooks going. We are going for merciless after all.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult to get the adept killer, to be honest. I can see you, Jake, I'm not lying. Because you have to get very high scores in all the emblems, and you can absolutely destroy the survivors, but if you don't get multiple hooks and long chases and stuff, whoops, you can actually cut yourself out of a lot of points. See, Jake is running around next to this Steve, which is meaning I'm not leaving because I'm not going to break the chase with him. So it's actually hurting his friend. It's actually hurting his friend by keeping the survivor the killer next to the hook.
Yeah.
You can see the bill running around. No.
Yeah.
Take you over here, sure.
They're clearly trying to play a very altruistic game, but now they've only done one generator, and I think they're all at least on their second hook. I think Steve's dead on the hook.
Yeah.
Bill might be as well.
Yeah, they may be trying to play an altruistic game, but what they're actually doing is harming their teammates.
Definitely. Sometimes you've got to play the objective for a little while, because I think people worry about saving straight away, but actually you can. You are allowed to let them, be on the hook for a little while.
I think this guy's going to wiggle out because they dropped that hook because they're cheap. Ooh, that must have been close. That must have been close. Yeah, there is nothing wrong as a survivor with leaving another survivor on the hook for 20 seconds while you just bash out a bit of objective or get that heal before you go back in, because otherwise you're just chain suiciding into the killer's face.
What you don't want is to let them get into struggle, because then that...
Sorry, I just had to hold up a finger to you there because I thought I could hear someone working on a generator. Please continue.
I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, that's... I can't be distracted, you know this.
We were talking about sometimes leaving the survivor on
Oh,
the
yes,
hook.
no. Yeah, what you don't want to do is you don't want to leave them on there until they get into struggle, because then that takes away a hook from them. And if you let them go into struggle, that then means that they can only get hooked one more time and then they're going to instantly die. But like you say, you've got a good 30 seconds or so before that's going to happen, possibly longer. I haven't ever actually counted it.
Longer, yeah.
But you've got plenty of time before that happens, so don't be afraid to just spend a bit of time finishing off the generator or healing yourself up or healing someone else before you go in for that save.
Indeed. What? Why? Are you trying to make me chase you? Like,
I'm assuming so.
very confused.
He's got an obsession perk, which is interesting.
He thinks he's spicy.
You trying to distract?
From what, I don't know. I'm not sure if any of the generators are in problem.
Well, that's it. They've got two survivors left. Only finished one generator, so I'm not sure what he's hoping to gain.
I think he's trying to get control.
Although if he's upstairs in that house and in that one generator room, you could quite easily block him, I think.
I think there's a window in there. He's trying to distract me without those notifications by being a little bit tempting.
Yeah, guys, don't do it. It's not cool. Potentially in a... I was going to say potentially in a locker, but...
No, I don't think so. Yep. Screeches. Screeches. Yes, there he is. Hello, Billion. Hello. You see, as a survivor, when you do something, when you do something like that, you're telegraphing to the killer, I want you to chase me. Why would the killer do what the survivors want, ever?
It's also just a bit arrogant, isn't it? Because like earlier, he was trying to troll by going in and out of the locker, so you just grabbed him out of it.
I don't know where the Jake is, and I'm a little bit worried. Hello, Jake.
Oh, he's jumped out the window. I know he's still there.
Hello. Ooh, teabagging. Wow. Okay.
He's just standing up there.
Okay, let's just chase him off. If he gets out, he gets out. I'm not faffing around with someone.
Well, that's
else
it.
that does so. I'm not going to let you go back through the window.
entirely sure what he wants. But,
Whoops!
is that dead hard?
No, that was me mistiming the attack. Trying to 360 me?
Yeah, I don't understand. I feel like he's got the attitude of someone who, or maybe he's got decisive strike. But
Doesn't matter, it's not active.
Maybe he didn't know that.
Oh well, that was a slightly strange one, but never mind.
Yeah, he was playing like someone who was better than he was. But that's not a good way to play. Please do not be arrogant and teabag unless the killer is being toxic. There's no need for it.
Merciless killer, there we
Woo!
go. Adept Wraith. Okay, so what is the Wraith's playstyle? The Wraith's playstyle is an ambushed predator. You have to work with his power. He gets up close and personal with survivors and then uses that speed boost to get that hit in, uses the fast movement to have good map control and good presence, and just closes those gaps before the survivors even see him.
I don't really know the killer's perks well enough to kind of really weigh in. I have a few that I know are really good, that we know that barbecue and chili is a really good one. We know that Ruin, even with the nerf, is still pretty good. We know that Noed is great as long as the totem lasts until the end. But there's not really any strategy with using those, and I know that we kind of go for a bit more of a strategic perk choice.
Okay, so to play into the ambush predator playstyle of the Wraith, the first thing I'm going to do is fill our 4th perk slot with Furtive Chase, which is actually a ghost face perk, which we'll cover in more detail in another video. But suffice it to say for the moment that the idea with this is to decrease our terror radius by hooking the obsession. And every time we do that, we get some tokens which decrease our terror radius, and the person who unhooks the obsession then becomes the obsession, so we can hook them to get more tokens. But if the obsession dies or is sacrificed in any way, then we lose all our tokens. So during the game, we get a mid-game power spike, ideally, which is going to really decrease our terror radius while we're chasing, so we can blindside some of the other survivors that may not necessarily know we're there.
Yeah, this is definitely a good shout, this perk, particularly with the terror radius decreasing. I know that I've been against the ghost using this this perk before, and thought I was safe. I thought I'd got away, and actually he just pulled back just a little bit just to give me that sense of security, so I'd slowed down, and then he managed to get back and I didn't have the time to get away. So anything that gives your survivors a little confidence boost or a little bit of comfort,
A false sense of security.
anything that does that is definitely worth having.
Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is remove Predator as a perk, because frankly, I don't really rate it at all. But I've got an interesting idea that we can use to further misdirect the survivors, and that's going to be using Dark Devotion, which is actually a plague perk. Again, we'll go into this in more detail in a later video, but the idea is that every time we left click, as in basic attack, the obsession, I put my terror radius on that person. So even if they get away, they take my terror radius with them, meaning that it's going to be easy for me, even while uncloaked, to ambush someone else.
That's a really interesting perk. I have seen it used. I haven't played against it myself, but I have seen it used. And I can just imagine that if that would happen to me, I would just be in a bit of a panic and be like, they're still chasing me, what's going on? And it really encourages, as a survivor, I think if you don't look behind you, then you're going to be in a real state of, what's going on? Like, why are they still chasing me? Why can't I get away? So I think that it just messes with the minds.
That's the plan you want with this playstyle, for the survivors to have no clue where you are.
Yeah.
And I think this really, really helps. Okay, next up, we want to combo with Furtive Chase. So I'm going to change Bloodhound, which again I feel is a little bit redundant for me personally as a player, and put on Make Your Choice. So the idea here with Make Your Choice, which is actually a pig perk, causes anyone who rescues someone from a hook to scream and become exposed, which means we can take them down in one hit. Now the idea here is that we hook the obsession, we get our furtive chase tokens, then another survivor comes along, unhooks them, becomes the obsession, then gets exposed, so it's easy to knock them down, hook them, get more furtive chase tokens, ambush more people.
Ooh, interesting play. Make your choice is one of those perks that as a survivor you are sort of more reluctant to save. As soon as you know they've got it, you go, oh my god, they've got, make your choice, and then you're running and you're panicking. Again, it's this play with the Wraith is very much about the survivors not knowing where you are, but also not really knowing what's safe, what's not, and just you go from a point of full sense of security to never feeling secure no matter where you are.
Okay, finally, I want to remove Shadowborn because, again, it's not really that good in my opinion. Now, we could go for some meta perks like No One Escapes Death, for example, for that late game power spike. We could go for Ruin to maintain that map pressure and try and prolong the game by making the generators regress by themselves. We could even go for something like Bitter Murmur, so we can see where survivors are and where they're heading once they've completed a generator. And of course, there's always Barbecue and Chili, which is just amazing, the best killer perk, no question. However, I'm going for something a little bit more interesting. Now, I have a couple of choices here. I'd like MrsSuperHands to weigh in. So, I'm considering either taking in the Hex perk Devour Hope, which is a Hag perk, which basically rewards the killer for being far away from the hook when a survivor is unhooked by giving them tokens which give them enhanced abilities, eventually allowing them to mori people without bringing in a mori, which is quite cool. However, it's a Hex perk, it's vulnerable, etc. The other perk I'm considering taking in is Nemesis, which is an Oni perk. It's quite interesting because basically if a survivor blinds you or pallet slams you, they become the obsession. So it's another one that changes the obsession around. But that's not why I want to take it. I want to take it for the second effect, which is anytime a new survivor becomes the obsession, they are afflicted by the Oblivious status effect for 40 seconds, and I see their aura for 4 seconds. And that's only at level 1.
So what happens when the Oblivious status effect is active? What does that do to a survivor? Because I can't quite remember.
Well, it's more fuckery with our terror radius, you see.
I love fuckery.
So basically, if a survivor is oblivious, they don't hear your terror radius when they're within your terror radius, no heartbeat for them at all, and perks that activate when they're within a killer's terror radius don't activate.
Ooh, interesting.
So we can do yet more confusion about where the fuck is the killer.
So of the two, I personally think that Devour Hope is better. I think both will cause a lot of fuckery, which is obviously the intention.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know enough about the Oblivious status effect. I know you've explained it to me, but I don't feel like I've got enough experience with it to know whether that will be better or worse.
Well, the idea behind suggesting Nemesis was purely because when people unhook someone with this build as it is, we're going to have Furtive Chase make them the obsession, which is going to proc Oblivious from the Nemesis perk, and they'll be exposed because of Make Your Choice. That was the idea, so they combo together.
I think you've already got a couple of combos on there, so I think you can afford to go Devour Hope.
Okay, Devour Hope it is. MrsSuperHands has spoken. Maybe we'll do a Nemesis build at a later date.
Yeah, I mean we could try a game like this and then swap them out and see how it affects the gameplay.
Sounds good. So, okay, so for this game I've decided that for add-ons we're going for the Ghost Soot, so that when we decloak we have no terror radius for 60 seconds, and we're also going for Blind Warrior Mud, which is going to give the survivors blindness when we hit them with our basic attack. And we're also going for a Shroud of Separation, so we split them all up so we don't get any early generator drops, hopefully. Alright, let's see what we've got here. A map, 2 medkits, and a toolbox. Wow, spicy.
Blimey.
We've got two similar looking Nias as well, but these we can tell them apart by beanie and not beanie.
Excellent.
Oh, Louise, this will be interesting. Lots of opportunity for fuckery with my terror radius on this one.
And they won't see you coming because of all the corners, so that's handy.
Yes. Not too bad totem placement. I'm quite happy with that.
You have to know that there's going to be a totem there to even think of looking. Like, I look for those corners, but I think that's because we're hyper aware of the totems.
That is true. That's because we're always focused on denying Noed.
Yeah, that's it. Also, 1,000 points for a doll totem, 1,500 for a hex. I'd be mad not to.
Guys, I'm scared. I feel like I'm alone in a spooky asylum.
That's the thing, nobody is anywhere. Ooh.
Hello.
Hey guys.
Hiya! What? How did that not connect?
I was going to say, you absolutely just slugged her in the back of the head.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, that was just excitement.
Yeah, that was a...
You flailed excitedly.
I did do a bit of a flail, didn't I? Where did you go?
Really?
No!
Are you sure?
No, why though? Where did...
Question is which? This one.
The one that I can hear crying inside. They pop my
It's alright.
It's the risk you take. Ooh, scritches. More scritches. Hey, Nia! If you're running balanced landing, I'm gonna cry.
All the time.
Oh, yeah. Oh no, Nia, no. Don't do it, Nia.
Grab
No.
Yes!
Why? Space Hedgehog, why?
Seems you need to do a Dead by Daylight 101.
Wait. Oh, someone's struggling. Why?
That was special.
It's not even as if I took her by surprise by having no terror raiders. She could see me.
Yeah, you were literally chasing her.
Okay. Looks like things are happening down there.
Guess I know where I'm going.
Dink bonk. Hey guys! Where's the rescuer? Someone injured his people here. It's the Nia.
Gotta go after someone.
Yeah.
She was also silly.
She was pretty silly. I can hear wounded civilians. Hello!
Oh, that's happened to me before.
That's happened to me many a time.
I hate it when that happens.
I'm pretty sure more than one of them came through here as well. Give her the bonk. That was you.
Amazing.
I knew it! I knew it!
She's not. She's a little bit thick though. Come on.
Well, I knew what I would do, so that's the thing. Playing killer makes you a better survivor and vice versa.
I'm just not comfortable with murder.
Don't you wiggle out, Nia, I swear down.
I was gonna say, don't you?
Where did you go, boys and girls?
I think I just saw some scratches by the generator, so they must have run off, but...
I mean, I assume they've gone for a little heal party somewhere. They're determined, aren't they? Like, just seriously, leave your teammate on the hook for 20 seconds. Just go do some objective. There is absolutely no need to instantly save. They're not going anywhere.
So she was the one who saved, wasn't she?
Yes.
And now she's being serious.
It's really useful when you run this combination because furtive chase obviously it changes the rescuer to the obsession. So whoever the obsession is the one that's got exposed on them to make your choice.
Yeah, so it just...
Oh, no, no, no.
Me too. That was just brave and kind of stupid.
They are on it, to be fair.
I mean, they've all been hurt.
I feel like there's been some shenanigans happening over here. Straight in for the rescues. Scritches. Scritches everywhere.
And scatter.
Hey,
Probably didn't know to get on there, did she?
You gonna blind me now?
Then he ran and she was just like, what? What are you doing? What's the matter?
I didn't want to go for the one that... No!
Yeah, I was going to say maybe just a different one. Isn't that the same one you got earlier?
Yeah, I think I pulled this one out of the locker. I'll just get quick and quiet or something. Hello, chicken. You see that one, I saw the scratches, and then there was a blood puddle in front of the...
Okay, thank you for the...
I'm not going to hook the one that's got sandbags, because that's just... Can I please walk through that thing? I kept getting stuck there while the Claudie was wiggling. Yeah,
you were aiming for Meg, weren't you? The other one. Who would save me, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to leave her down anyway. I'm not hooking her immediately because that's just mean. Because they got sandbags down. I could hear someone else. To be fair, that did bring a flashlight, so...
I really just
Hello,
think...
Scritches? No? Scritches this way?
I just don't agree with downing the survivors. Wow. I think you're just asking for trouble if you leave them down, to be honest. Personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, slugging is a bit annoying from the survivor's point of view, and I don't really like it, but it also slows down the game tempo, and if they're going to be stupid enough to put right in front of me, and fucking heal right in front of me...
Yeah.
Like, this Claudette has had a bit of a raw deal in this game, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, she has. But she also jumped into lockers twice in stupid places.
That's true, you get pulled out of the locker. I feel better about that now. I don't feel like I've persecuted this poor person anymore.
She searches for a pallet.
Which one's a voltage artist? Oh, it's the Meg. Megan!
Meg needs to start keeping tabs on who's been hooked when, how many times.
I was going to say, why am I not in a chase? You being on chase? The double jump through? Nope. Nope. Don't do that. If you find the hatch now, I'm going to be very annoyed. Do that. Oh god, the pallet's in the way. No.
Nice.
I like the animation when they jump towards you when you grab them because you catch them by the throat. That's pretty Well, GG boys and girls.
I wonder where the hatch was.
Don't know.
I was wondering out loud.
Don't sound like kids.
Merciless.
Okay, so now that we've got our new Nemesis build, we're going to bring in a Swift Hunt mod to slightly reduce the reappearance time when I decloak, and a Swift Hunt White, which is going to moderately reduce the reappearance time when I decloak, and they stack together. So between them, I should reappear pretty quick.
That's
Plus,
good.
scratch coin, because screw your chests, that's why.
It'll be good to get that uncloaking happen quick, because obviously you've got that speed boost when you're invisible, and you have a little speed boost when you decloak, but the cloaking process really slows you down.
It does.
So anything you can do to kind of minimise that speed change would be great.
And look at that, we're straight into a lobby. We've got a Fang, a floppy-eared Fang, a Jake and a Meg, and can't see anyone. We've got a toolbox and a med kit, and I don't think Meg's got anything in her hand. Nah.
Are you sure? She can't, because she's holding a key.
Yeah, I can't. Yes, she is holding a key.
Right, Meg's got to go first.
She is holding a key. Cheeky, cheeky. Okay, Auto Haven Wreckers, Wraith map. And we're at Gas Heaven. Let's see what we can find.
Speedy speed.
Speedy speed. Standard speedy speed. I've not got add-ons to increase movement speed while cloaked, but I have got fast decloak mode. Okay. I'm just absolutely terrible at the time. Lumber tackle.
No, I think that was just too speedy.
There we go.
Good start, good start.
Don't you try and blind me from... Firstly, don't try and blind me. Secondly, you're not blinding me from that far away, Jake. I see you there.
He's going to try and... Yeah, I was going to say he's going to try and drop the pallet and then he's going to...
Oh, he's not dropped it. That was well weighted on his part. He wasted that pallet.
He probably knows you expect it.
Oh, I see you mindlessly running. Oh! 360! That was a good 360. That was a good 360. Can you just... Stand still! God damn it!
Just let me beat you with my skull and spine.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Skull and spine beatings are required.
Yeah.
According to the law of Dead by Daylight, I think the Wraith and Nurse are supposedly lovers or something.
Oh.
Can you remember they released on Valentine's Day? They released like complimentary sets for them.
I did not remember that, but that's interesting.
It's fun game now. Leave my generators alone, Fang. No. Is she rocking a med? Oh no.
I thought she was for a second there. I was like, really? Really?
I knew it. I knew it. I knew someone was working like that. style that when I pick the bang up. Don't do it.
Nice.
Why? Why try and sound that? Cheers, yeah.
Had good control there. She didn't even look like she was struggling. Oh, they were going to have a hill party underneath the hook. Someone to the... Yeah.
Did you really need to drop that bad that you couldn't yourself? Oh, what? I looked up! Well done to the Jake there. You're gonna have to die now, mate. For that. With his spicy 360s. Come on. I see you watching me. Drop it.
I always feel like somebody's
Watching me. Gonna smash your head in with my axe.
Oh. What's he doing?
Missing. I am missing is what I'm doing. Being a ninja, apparently. Goodness me. He's got some moves on him.
Not as many moves as you, though.
Some people have high level moves, but then temporary level. Can't believe I got flashlight blinded. Rookie error.
You know how you have an iron spine? Is your Wraith weapon actually your original spine?
That would be metal as fuck. I choose to believe that is the ultimate law for Dead by Daylight.
Oh, look at it, so bone.
Am I just stupid? Yes, I am. Sure. Oh, none. Okay, I thought she was gonna. That's you there, Meg. Hiya. Come on through.
Hello.
Thought she was gonna juke through the treasure shack there, but I can hear someone. Dropping my hooks, mate.
I'm just saying, if Jake was that good, he would have flashlighted you out of invisibility. Can you handle it? Bunny fang. Okay. Good float. Do you know this?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm just checking. You're getting like
Speakers.
This is a big reveal.
The big reveal, yeah.
Surprise!
Oh, I thought she was juking me. She double bluffed.
Well,
And she's my obsession, which is good. That's the spicy Jake over there. I want the Fang right now. Spicy Jake's on his last hook, so he needs to be careful how spicy he behaves.
I mean, he's being spicy, I just...
Excellent murder mine there for the people on for the benefit.
Yeah.
You did. Chop chop, motherfucker. Bunny Fang's not struggling. She's sad.
She won't be sad, it's her first hook.
No touchy! You looping? That's what we're doing. Lunge! Oh, Bunny Fang's been rescued. Cool. Are we still looping? Did I just see you over to the left? I did hear you just over to the left.
Did you not see him? His face just peeked out. He was about to jump through and then realised that you were coming around, so he didn't.
He enjoys looping this. Hello. Yes, well done, you're creating space, but easy to live your life. Especially when there's 2 Jennies left and someone already dead. Up you go, sunshine! Got some spicy moves, but not quite spicy enough. If I am a survivor, I am way on the other side of the map right now. Yes, look, scritches. And a mostly done generator. The Wraith is watching me.
I know it's gonna kill me.
No balance landing on the thing. Get honked! Wait, teabagging for it! I've just given up now. No. Yes.
Do you know anything about the hatch?
No. I know that Bunny Fang's looking for it, but beyond that, I don't know anything about it. Oh, can hear it over here somewhere. Yes.
You got to close it, haven't you?
Oh yeah. Why would you not? We just need to find Bunny Fang.
There's quite a distance between the doors, isn't there?
Yeah. But from this position you can just about see the 2.
Can you? I don't see how you can see that at all.
They illuminate with 3 red lights to denote progress.
I know, but isn't that a light? Am I blind?
No, they go bright red.
But you're just trying to look at it through trees and such.
Bunny Fang. Bunny Fang?
There.
There you are. Hey Bunny Fang.
She's hoping for mercy.
I've closed the hatch now, right?
Yeah.
Has she got a key? Oh, she was looking for the hatch. Oh no. Oh, I'm so sorry, Bunny Fang.
I forgot she had a key. We talked about it earlier.
I did. I'm half tempted to take her to the hatch and let her wiggle out, but then... I don't know. That's to be fair.
Sometimes.
Unlucky Bunny Fang. Sad. Bing bong. And there we have it.
So, Nemesis or Devour Hope?
It kind of depends on the loadout the survivors take. I mean, Nemesis was quite nice that game because there was a lot of spiciness going on with flashlights and such.
Yeah.
Higher power ceiling is Devour Hope. Definitely.
But bigger risk of losing
Bigger risk, exactly. Swings and roundabouts. Both fun builds though. And obviously you could equally switch out some of these perks for more meta things.